Yo, 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 yo.
What's the name of the podcast now?
Yo, yo,
Yo, yo, yo, yo, yo.
Episode 22.
Hey, who's got a new name for us?
What?
Who's got a new name
who?
for us?
It's the Griselda Records podcast. Because I think about once a week, you send me a new track from someone on Griselda Records.
Man, those dudes are on fucking fire, though.
I know.
Conway's record comes out on Friday. His full length.
No shit.
Yeah, dude.
Damn. Why did I think it was already out?
No, it was originally going to come out last week, and then they did pre-orders last week, and the new one's coming out. But West Side Gun just posted on Instagram. I think it was Instagram, just like flexing some stuff. But then like in the comments had like a list of upcoming stuff, and like Conway's record's coming out this week, and then he's got that West Side Gun's got that Hitler mixtape series, and his number 7 comes out in October, and then in November the long-awaited Griselda Shady Records record, like the three of them.
No, you know what's crazy is we jumped right the fuck in. Did we even say what episode this was?
I think you did.
Did we?
But it's 22.
It is 22. That means and we're podding on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
Got the pod going up on a Tuesday.
Whatever happened to I Love McConan?
Real talk, what I think happened is people found out he was gay and literally banned him from hip hop. Like, that's what happened.
That's gay. You gonna bleep that out? Boop.
No, I ain't bleeping
that
shit
boop.
out. No, I actually think that's what happened.
Nothing but love.
Yeah, no,
and he sisters.
Yeah, but hip hop is just now, I feel like, starting to kind of be accepting of that entire lifestyle. Yeah. Like every other besides country, every other like genre has pretty much just
Lil Nas X, man. He just did the crossover coming out.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because country literally rebelled against him being country.
Yeah, but then he got Billy Ray Cyrus on his song.
And they still didn't give a fuck. They were like, fuck you, Billy. Like, you out this bitch too. Like, country is out here canceling their own people over Lil Nas X.
Christ. Stupid.
Had we potted on Sunday, I realized we'd be doing episode 22, and I had the fucking worst hangover possible. And I also had the worst hangover possible on episode 2.
Oh.
So it would have been like a full 20 episodes later. I am still a piece of shit.
Yeah, I forgot about that because I was like, hey, you down to do an early one today? And you're like, that's a little too early for me.
Well, I also had shit going on and I had work. I was like working and shit. So what the fuck?
First of all, month, man.
First of all, what are we drinking?
So this is 51K IPA from Black Rocks Brewery.
Nice.
Native brewed in Marquette, Michigan. So if we're talking about catching up, was that you buzzing or me?
Well, it's definitely not me since mine is recording this podcast.
Oh, that's correct.
Have you forgot how these things work?
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Sending pictures of I got a story in a minute. Anyway, so Sierra and the kids and I went up to Marquette, Michigan, which is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Which is that place you always talk about being from?
No, I'm not from the Yoop. I'm from the lower, man.
No shit.
Yeah.
We're fucking 22 episodes in and I still don't know shit about you, Collin.
I'm from here.
You're from the left side of the palm of your hand.
Yes.
And this beer is from what? The fingertip? The middle fingertip?
This is from up there. So the other hand.
Yeah.
But I'm allowed to do that, by the way.
What the fuck was that?
This is our thing. This is the Michigan.
This?
Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula.
Is that really? That's a hand sign to fucking...
Fuck it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck yeah, dude. But anytime like somebody's like, oh, you're from Michigan? And I'm like, yeah. And I like immediately do the mitten. And they're like, oh, yeah, one of those people. So we do that.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Another thing people do in Michigan. I totally just got off this. Another thing people do in Michigan, though, is when like somebody says like, oh, cool, nice shirt. People in Michigan always tell you where they got it and how much it cost. Specifically Dutch people.
So if I said like nice shirt, you're like, oh, not a big deal.
Oh yeah,
got it at Target, $9.99.
I got this at Spencer Gifts for $16.99.
Is that really where it's from?
Yeah.
Man, that's full circle. Did you get that this decade?
I got this literally like 2 months or 3 months ago.
Oh, I did say this decade, and I realize now it's a fucking Pusha t-shirt.
Yeah. Anyway, this is, we went up to Marquette, Michigan, and my brother lives up there. Our whole family went up there, and we did a Labor Day weekend thing, and this is the brewery that he works at. And
excellent.
It's a cool hometown brewery that it's really sweet, actually. Like the bar.
Do they have nationwide distribution?
No.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't even get to Ohio.
I was saying because I've literally never heard of this.
No, it gets to Lower Michigan and it gets to Wisconsin and Minnesota, I think.
That's cool. What's the Black Rocks thing?
So Black Rocks is up in the Upper Peninsula along Lake Superior. There's a lot of exposed rock and cliffs and stuff like that, and it's all old granite. Supposedly, some of the stuff here in Marquette, in this city, Marquette, Michigan, is the oldest exposed ancient rock on Earth. Among that or something. So it's pretty cool. It was cold as fuck, but we still went swimming and jumped off these rocks and stuff into Lake Superior.
And for those of you that don't know, Collin just decided to not tell me that he was even going on this trip. And that is literally why we skipped a week.
Yeah, sorry.
He's like, it was an 11-hour drive to get here, but I'll be back on Tuesday if you want to try and pod Tuesday. And I was like, nah. Not really.
Some fucked up shit though. That's supposed to take 9.5 hours.
Yeah.
Took 11 hours both ways. It was terrible.
Why? Just traffic and fucking.
You know, it was Labor Day, so yeah. On the way there was some.
Oh, and you can't speed because cops.
And until you get to Michigan,
and then you can speed.
Dude, Michigan is fucking no man's land, man.
They just don't have cops.
No, here's the deal. I was from Columbus to Toledo. Was. My God, Ohio cops were fucking on one.
Yeah.
I mean, there was somebody pulled over every 3 or 4 miles. It was outrageous. I probably saw 30 cops. It was crazy. Just 23 and 75. And then across the border into Michigan, from the border of Michigan all the way through the Lower Peninsula, saw 1 cop. Upper Peninsula, 1 more cop.
Do you think that's why the crime rate is so fucking high there? Because there's just no cops?
I don't know.
I remember like when I would drive to Michigan, I remember I knew I was in Michigan because all of a sudden potholes were fucking everywhere.
It's hilarious. We play a game as a family where, including the driver, no, I'm just kidding, within a mile from the border, did we talk about this?
I doubt it.
I don't know. Within a mile from the border, either way. Okay, say everybody close your eyes and guess when we cross the border. Like that's the stupid joke, but it's like coming from Ohio into Michigan. You're just like 70 miles per hour. And it's like
that's what I'm saying. It's like you can tell that's where the Ohio highway money stopped right there. Yeah. They chose that spot.
The funny thing though is that like in Ohio, so much tax money goes to the roads. I mean, we have an ad agency in town called Orange Barrel Media.
Oh, yeah.
Literally because that's an Ohio thing, is that there's literally always construction on the freeways.
There's a fucking little fruit fly flying. It's driving me nuts. I think I just killed it.
The crazy thing, though, is in Michigan, it's like every winter, the roads get nice.
I think I got it. Did you see it?
That was some ninja shit.
Mr. Miyagi.
Every winter, the roads get absolutely destroyed, but no tax money goes to the roads up there, man.
You talking about Michigan?
Yeah.
Well, in Ohio, the fucking thing I think's funny is they constantly patch the holes. And it's like, all right, cool, you patch the hole. And then they get them big fucking snowplows out and they just scrape the shit out of the hole.
Well, that's because there's another fly. That shit.
There is another fly. I don't know. Is it? You think it's the same one? Or look, just, dude, I think I got that one too. I think I think that's 3 flies I've murked since I've been here.
Oh my God. But yeah, no, driving in Michigan is awful because the roads suck. And because especially northern Michigan and especially in deer season, there's deer.
Now you think you
everywhere.
Killed one?
I think so.
Yeah.
There's deer everywhere. And so driving in Michigan sucks for that regard, but speed limit 75.
Okay.
It used to be 70 on all the freeways, and they recently upped it to 75. That fucker is still in here.
You think it's the same one? Are we just like missing this fly? We gotta fuck this fucker up. He's over by you. He's right there. He's on the fucking. Did you get him?
I think so.
All right. What's gonna happen is
Kyle, about your cab.
This isn't Kyle's cab. This is a beer table.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That Kyle uses for bass.
I literally was joking about putting my foot up like this the whole time, and I just like did it without thinking, and I looked at the camera, and it's like, you look like an asshole. All right.
It's that wide angle lens.
But well, guess what? iPhones have them now.
Do they?
The iPhone 11 they announced today has 3 cameras.
Oh, I knew. I told you.
Anyway.
Didn't I tell you that was going to be a thing? That
well, yeah, that's how they roll. That's how Apple rolls.
But they don't take everything, right? Like, it's just certain things. But I felt like that was when I got this phone and it had the third lens, I was like, that's the coolest shit ever. I never want to lose that. Wait, that might have been on the 9 too. Regardless, I was like, holy shit, that's cool. All phones should do that. That thing makes sense. Like, this phone has 5 cameras. It's got 2 on the front. Anyway.
But that's what Apple does. They Android is the sandbox. They see what people like and then they do it better.
Even Android has their own sandbox because they test all the new shit on the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And then they put some shit on the Note. It's like spring, fall. Anyway.
And Apple's just their designers are sitting there going, yes, yes. But anyway, yeah, driving in Michigan is sweet because you cross the border and flow of traffic immediately goes up to 85. Everyone drives 85, and it's crazy. And
well, that's what I was going to say.
Cops don't give a fuck.
75 doesn't mean shit to me because I drive over that now.
Yeah.
So
I do too.
But if the speed limit here, like inner city, it's 65. Outside of 270, it's 70 for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's 70 and I'm doing, I don't know, 80, 82, I don't feel that I would go up to 85, 87 if I went to Michigan where it was 5 miles higher. I probably wouldn't take my speeding up 5 miles. I would just stay at the whole 80 to 82.
Oh no, I legitimately take my cruise control and I go and get up to like 89.
So what's your damn?
And yeah, dude. One time when I was in high school, did you get it?
I don't know. There it is. Hold on. I keep thinking I kill it. Dude, there's 2. I just saw the one you're trying to get. You fucking missed it too. Dude, we're going to spend half of this episode trying to kill this. You can't waste our time.
It just got to bat it on our face. Anyway, one time when I was in high school, a cop came to our government class to talk about what it's like being a cop. I'm a senior in high school. A bunch of 17-year-olds. Everyone just got their goddamn licenses. And this cop was like, some kid, he's like, okay, I'm going to take questions from the class. And some kid was like, so how... when do you normally pull somebody over? What's for a warning or for and he goes, speed limit's 70. That's back in the day, it was 70. And he goes, it's like speed limit's 70. So, generally don't pull somebody over for a warning until they're going 79, 80. So think about a stupid thing you could say to a bunch of 17-year-olds. Right. Anyway, so that was kind of like when I was just learning to drive, I was like, oh yeah, I can drive as fast as I fucking want in Michigan. And we were actually talking about this in the car tonight because I was driving very fast in a not fast place. And I was like, my mom drives like a maniac. My grandpa drove like a maniac. My uncle builds race car engines. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Give me this. And then we found out today our car insurance went up because of the $140 ticket I got a few months ago.
Damn. I've never gotten a ticket.
Really?
I got a seatbelt ticket. Shout out to fucking Lee. So one time I was...
Lee West?
Yeah. I went down.
Just put your name on the internet, motherfucker.
Fuck yeah. I went down to hang out with him, and I was real hungover, and on my way back, I pulled into a gas station to get a water or something to fucking help with my hangover. And I actually had my seatbelt on, and then when I got back in the car, I pulled back onto 23, and I hadn't put it on yet. And a cop came up. I was the 3rd car in a row of 5. A cop comes up on the side of me, and then hangs back after he comes up on the side of me and then gets behind me and pulls me over. And I was like, what the fuck? And so he pulls me over and he's like, he tells me I was speeding. I was like, and I was already moody because I had a hangover. I was like, yeah, I know I was speeding, but I was in traffic. I was literally the 3rd car in a row of 5. You can't fucking pull me over. You need to pull the first guy over. I was just following the flow of traffic. He goes, what's your excuse for your seatbelt? And I was like, nothing, write me a ticket. And so he's like, be right back. And he fucking wrote me a ticket and I was on my way. But I realize now that if I had just been nice, he might have not done that. But I was a dick.
So literally every time some hardcore kid on Facebook posts a cab or talks about how much they hate cops. And then
no. All cats are bastards. That's what that stands for.
Okay. Anyway, somebody talks about how much they hate cops. Is there like a shirt or something that says that?
ACAB?
Yeah, like a cat.
All cats are bastards?
And like a cat in a police outfit.
I don't know.
I think
I don't know, but I fucking hate cats. Go on.
I love them.
I want to play with them and then give them back to whoever they belong to.
Anyway, anytime somebody posts some anti-cop thing and then some bootlicker gets
bootlicker.
I have friends who are cops, and I don't hate all cops. Anyway,
what the fuck is a bootlicker? What does that even mean?
Like Blue Lives Matter people, like people who are like, no, it's all about the authority.
I didn't know that there was a slang for that.
So what I was getting at is, there's always some asshole that's like, well, maybe if they would have just shown some respect, and you literally just personified that case.
Well, you know why? Because I say I only got one ticket, but it's not the only time I've ever been pulled over. I've been pulled over before, and most notably, I don't know if I said this before, but most notably, so my wife arranged to have some of my friends surprise me and meet me out. We went to dinner. I walk in, boom, my friends are there. I was like, oh shit, what's up? Great surprise. She was like, oh, by the way, we're also going to this really cool laser tag place. I don't know if you've heard of this place. It used to be called Hard Knocks, I think. And now it's called something else. It's tactical laser tag with the same like guns and laser gear setup that fucking SWAT uses to train.
Nice.
So it's really cool. And if you've ever played like Call of Duty or any of those things like that, there's all these different boards. Well, at this place, there's different boards. There's like a warehouse set up with like 50-gallon drums and pallets, and like you get to duck behind it. Then you can play a different board where it's like they have it set up like a house. There's bedrooms and a kitchen. There's a real stove. Like, it's really fucking cool. I can't think of what it's called now. But it used to be called Hard Knocks. Nowadays they rebranded. They have axe throwing, the whole nine. So she sets that up. So we go, we have dinner, we have a couple drinks, we go to Hard Knocks. And it's called Coliseum X. That's what it's called now. 23. You should go. It's tight.
Like up north?
Yeah, it's like right on the corner of Lizelle and 23.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Worthington or what the fuck it is, but anyway. So we leave there.
Such a niche thing to say on a
I wanted to say it
podcast.
to you because legitimately I think you should go. It's tight. I think your boys would love it.
No, that's cool. We did laser tag a couple months ago.
Anyway, so we leave there. I'm coming down 23, merging onto 315 or something. Completely cut a cop off. I'm driving my wife's car. I didn't want to adjust the mirrors, do shit, because I was like, I have to put all these back. She'll yell at me. I just kind of glance, don't see anything, start to merge. All of a sudden, I fucking catch a glimpse. I'm like, oh shit, and I swerve back. He slows down, to say like, go ahead, right? I get over in the lane, use my turn signal, everything was cool. As soon as I get on fucking the freeway, whoop, whoop, pulls me over. And I was like, great, because I actually had a couple drinks at dinner, but by now I've already fucking played matches of laser tag and hung out. Everything was cool. So pulls me out, gives me a field sobriety test. I was very apologetic. I said, I apologize. You were just in my blind spot. As soon as I realized, that's why I kind of like flashed my lights and said sorry. Didn't even know it was a cop when I did it. It was just totally, I cut this guy off. But everything went fine. He wished me a happy birthday and got back in my car and left. Everything was good. And I was like, if I would have been like fucking asshole, he had every right to fucking do whatever the fuck. Give me any kind of ticket he wanted. Because I was in the wrong. But fuck it. So what else have you been up to?
Or if your skin wasn't white.
Are you you know what? I know. You told the story on the podcast about how you got pulled over.
Yeah, dude.
Speeding through like UA or something.
I was in Grandview going fucking 42 and a 25 or some shit.
So other than driving up to Michigan, what else you been into?
One more thing about Michigan cops.
Okay.
And I may have said this on the podcast before. I feel like it's ringing a bell, but another reason why it's easier to speed in Michigan is in Michigan, only state cops have jurisdiction on the freeway. You can be downtown Detroit. If you're on the freeway, city cops can't do shit.
Really?
Only state cops. No sheriffs, no city cops.
Okay.
So there's much less. We call them, there's more than two.
I know. You told me to stop, like just bat them out of my face and not try and kill them, but I'm having trouble. Like it's giving me anxiety. I really want to kill these fucking
What if
flies.
it's this beer?
Because this shit tastes like pine cones. I'm into it.
One time, the brewmaster for Bell's Brewery said that their beer Hop Slam tastes like what did he say? Somebody told him to describe Hop Slam, and he said, it's like if the cat got into your weed stash and then took a piss in the Christmas tree water. And I was like, no, that actually
Hop Slam is
that makes sense.
Very sought after. And every time it comes out, my coworker buys like a shit ton of cases and stores them and then drinks them for the next like 3 months.
Spoiler alert, it's not as good as it used to be.
They changed the recipe.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't have any last year.
It's also much more plentiful now. So now it's like not, it used to be like a fucking 6-pack was $18 or something like that. Yeah. It's not worth that anymore because people still sell it for that, but they make so much more of it now.
Well,
Two Hearted is still Bell's.
Something else that isn't as good as it used to be is pumpkin. I don't know if you ever fuck with Southern Tea or pumpkin.
I don't fuck with pumpkin beers. So.
No? All right. Well, let me tell you. So
it's not a diss. I know people really love that shit. You are a PSL guy too.
Fuck yeah.
I don't fuck with
You know what? I switched this year. I've only had one PSL because they introduced this new drink. It's a cold brew with pumpkin cold foam on top. That's my shit. And it's because it tones down the pumpkin a little bit.
When I get coffee, I ask for coffee.
Motherfucker, what the fuck is cold brew?
Coffee.
There it is. But then put some cold foam with pumpkin and nutmeg on top.
Yeah, I want some black ass cold brew.
You're boring. Your coffee order is boring.
That's true.
Boring ass coffee order.
That's why I don't order coffee. I just drink garbage at work.
So here's something I did.
You're like, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up,
Let me change the subject.
Here's something I did. Number one, my girl turned 2. We did not have a party for it yet.
Your wife?
God damn it.
I'm kidding.
God damn it. No.
You said my girl. I couldn't resist.
You can't call your wife my girl anymore. Like, you lose those privileges when you become fiance. Did yours get like really crazy about like I could not refer to her as my girlfriend anymore? Like when I fucking proposed to her,
you said fiance.
Yeah, like all of a sudden I had to 100% say fiance, and if I didn't, she'd give me this look like, "I'm sorry, you're what?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, my fiance," because I'd be like, "Oh yeah, my girlfriend," and then when it became wife. Like, dude, all that other shit was out the window. She ain't bae. God. She ain't anything. She's white. She's my wife.
Like an old brother out there. Anyway, one thing you did, your girl turned 2.
Yeah, she turned 2.
Happy birthday.
Awesome. We did not do a party yet. We're going to do one later this month. And then she also fucking fell and busted her mouth open. So, like, weird.
Stitches?
No stitches. She's fallen and busted her mouth a couple times, but she's rowdy. But something else I did, I went to see It 2.
Oh, yeah?
So have you seen 1?
Nope.
What's your problem?
Dude.
Have you seen the original one from like 1990?
I don't think so.
What the fuck? Are you just not a fan of...
So, here's my love. I saw that you went and saw it, and I was like, he's going to bring this shit up, and I'm going to have to talk about it. Just because...
Better do some research.
No. Because I knew I was going to say, no, I haven't seen it. And I knew you're going to be like, what the fuck? Well, like, literally, what just happened was exactly what I expected.
It's not what the fuck because of what it is. It's what the fuck because, like, I just feel like there's certain movies that everyone should see. Like, everyone should have seen The Sandlot. Everyone should see Ninja Turtle movies. Like,
literally never seen any of that. I'm kidding.
Oh, I was like,
was a joke.
Oh, man, you're killing me, Smalls. You see how I brought the fucking reference?
Yeah. I saw that. I got it.
Yeah.
But no,
dude, what are you doing? You're
trying to get my goddamn glasses back on.
You're fucking having some troubles.
But did you see my glasses are like rose colored now?
Why?
I dropped them in a fucking lake. And now...
That's what happens? Why is your body not rose colored?
I don't know. I dropped them in a fucking lake 4 months ago, and now they're like old lady rose colored. Anyway, so You know,
I can't unsee it now. Like I actually see it even from over here.
I know. At least it's less noticeable against my skin. But because I'm so fucking tan.
I was just saying because you have beautiful Greek olive skin.
That sleepiest dad post Sierra posted, I look like a Native American man of my brother. Did you see that picture?
No.
Oh man, first guest appearance on the sleepiest dad, my brother.
Oh no
and
shit.
Me in the background going. Anyway, I look like a Native American. My skin is so dark.
Nice.
Anyway, horror movies in general weren't really my thing growing up. My stepdad was really into was really into like psychological thrillers and stuff like that. So like I grew up like watching shit like Seven and things like that. The only reason I ever watched horror movies as a kid was just because I knew there was always boobs in them somewhere.
Hell yeah.
So I would just fast forward until anyway, but I thought I got one. Anyway, and then, early in Sierra and I's relationship, that's when like horror movies were making like a comeback in the mainstream. That's when like The Ring came out, and then they started remaking stuff like the Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
And then you got the Rob Zombie's movies and stuff like that. Like
House of a Thousand Corpses.
I'm actually like all about the Firefly family movies, like that new one that the trailer just came out. I'm about it. Devil's Rejects to me is incredible. It's not really a horror movie though. So I was never really into it, but then, when we first started dating, that was like the cool thing was to go see The Ring, and I was into that, and the first Symphony of Peril record has Ring samples all over it, that somehow we got away with. But I kind of fell off, and horror doesn't really interest me much anymore.
I like it.
I really like Us.
Who?
I really like the movie Us, the second Jordan Peele movie.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see.
I actually haven't seen that.
I didn't see Get Out yet. Everybody I know saw it.
I did see that.
But Us was pretty sweet.
So the thing with it is like, there's clowns are such a popular thing to be scared of, right? And so everybody, like, growing up, everybody's like, oh my God, you got to watch this. And the fucking thing that terrified me was Child's Play. So Chucky, that was it for me. I was fucking terrified.
I did watch, like, in the early 90s when I was a kid, I did see stuff like that.
Yeah, well, in 1990 is when the original It came out. 86 was when Stephen King released the book. And then in 2017, they did a remake. I guess we'll call it a remake of It.
Yeah.
And the trailer looked amazing. And then I saw the movie and I was like, this was cool. I like what they did. But it wasn't quite as terrifying as the original. It had that like kind of cheesy thing to it. And I think it was received for the most part positively, but still wasn't like it didn't knock it out of the park for me. The reason we went and saw this one is because when Grandview Theater, they do these like beer tastings where they pair a beer tasting with a movie. And typically they do it with classic movies. So like we saw National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and you get like a souvenir glass with like a cool vector image printed on one side, Grandview Theater logo on the other side. We saw it with Fifth Element. It's really cool. And a lot of times they bring in like breweries where like they'll bring a keg of shit that is crazy desired that nobody gets.
Yeah.
Or like some shit that they've never released. So you get to try this shit that like literally no one's ever had before. It's really cool. They do giveaways. They do crazy fucking like YouTube like sketch comedy things. They just do all kinds of shit. It's a really fun time. I don't remember them ever doing it with new movies. And then they were going to do it with It. And I said, okay, well, I already want to see this movie. Amy's on it like a fucking hawk. So she like sent me a text the moment they fucking announced it and was like, we going to this? I said, yes. She bought the tickets. We go. We met up with Shawnee G and his girl. Dave and his like friend came out. So it was really cool. It was the 6 of us. Now here's the thing. So what I didn't know is that movie is
It's
2
like 3
hours,
hours long?
and 45 minutes long. This was a late showing. We go, we have a couple beers.
I'd have made it an hour.
Dude, I only made it an hour. So we go, have a beer or two outside. They open the theater. We go in. They start the beer tasting and like giveaways and shit. They did 5 beers, right? The first one was Ichabod. which is like a pumpkin beer.
I've had it.
They do that. Then they did 3 or 4 clown shoe beers because clown shoes.
Who is the brewery?
Clown shoes.
Oh, that's the brewery?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but this one, they didn't have a brewery on hand for this one. They just did like 5 beers. And I want to say the first one, the first one was Ichabod because it was a pumpkin beer. It's like, I don't know, somewhere between 4 and 5%. And then progressively, these beers went up. It went like let's say a 4.6, and then like a 6, and then like a 7.2, and then like a 9.4, and then a fucking 14.5. You gonna get it?
Nope, it's gone.
And then a 14.5 beer.
Fuck.
Bro.
Recently legal in Ohio.
Yeah, within the past year.
2 years?
Year or 2 years.
Was when they shifted from 12?
I don't think there's a cap anymore.
Yeah,
there's no cap. You know, there was never really a cap in Chicago. Did I ever say this to you before? So in Chicago, I used to go to Chicago a lot between having friends there and traveling for tattoo conventions and shit. I went to Chicago a decent amount of times. Well, there is a beer from Chicago from a brewery called Small Town Brewery. They now bottle it and serve it everywhere, but there it's different. So it's called Not Your Father's Root Beer.
Oh yeah.
You familiar with it? Okay, well they tried to get it bottled for years, right? There are 2 versions on tap in Chicago. There is a 10% and a 19.5%.
Oh, cool.
And neither one of them tastes like alcohol. It just tastes like root beer.
Whoa.
So the first time I had it, we go to this place and our friends from Chicago are like,
doing some of that White Claw magic on it.
Dog. So, you know, White Claw's only like, what is it, 5%?
Yeah.
It's low. Anyway, we go there and our buddy DJ goes, you got to get this Not Your Father's Root Beer. Like, it'll knock you on your ass.
Cosgrove?
No.
Oh.
DJ Ald. He's a tattoo artist. He was originally from Chicago. He moved though. So we go there and he gets me and Kyle one of these beers, right? These Not Your Father Root Beers. We drink it and me and Kyle look at each other like, dude, what the fuck is going on with that beer? Like, I am feeling that really hard. DJ goes, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, it's 19.5%.
Jesus Christ.
So we go a few times, and each time we go, we're like, we got to have one, right? We got to have a fucking Not Your Father's Root Beer because we've told everybody about this. One day, we're on this weird road trip. We have vacation time. Let's fucking go on a dude's road trip. Let's go to Chicago. Let's go to Wisconsin. Let's just make a rounds and see our friends. So we go, and then I look up Small Town Brewery and where it's at, and it's like, it's a detour of maybe 30 minutes on our way to Wisconsin. And we go, fuck yeah, let's go and get some growlers. So we drive there, and we're pulling into the fucking parking lot. And I'm like, man, this looks really weird. Like, this looks just like a business district. And then I pull up the website, and it clearly says on there, not open to the public. We do not serve growlers. So we detour out of the way 30 minutes for no fucking reason. We can't bring this beer back. We can't bring it back to Ohio. And it sucked. And then they finally get around to getting their shit approved for bottling and all that. And then when they release it, it's like 5.5%. It's literally half of the weaker version.
Crazy.
So fuck those guys for that. I'm just kidding. Not fuck those guys, because they opened up an entire new market that everybody jumped on after that shit. They also, I think, did like Not Your Father's Ginger Ale too.
Yeah.
Right.
They kind of blew up there for a minute.
They did. I don't know if they're still popping or not, but
yeah, I think that
it's run its course.
I think the seltzer game kind of blew everybody out of the water,
which is fucking crazy.
I read an article about it actually last week or the week before. It was about how the craze around alcoholic seltzer water has to do with younger millennials who are just now drinking,
not really liking the taste of alcohol.
No, and Gen Z folk being tired of having to think about what they drink because craft everything became such a big ordeal.
Yeah, and
everything was like, oh, what's this and what's in it and all this stuff, and everyone just kind of got tired of it, and it's just like, just get me hammered.
You know, I actually...
it was a fascinating... I don't know that it's totally right, but it was a fascinating look at it.
I have a slightly different theory.
Oh, yeah. I dropped a lot of these, by the way.
That's all right. My theory on why White Claw got popular is because they led a meme campaign.
Sure.
I truly feel like memes about White Claw made White Claw desirable to the people who consume memes, which is literally this world.
I will say it is wild because I live next to Upper Arlington, so I'm always at Upper Arlington grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
It is wild how many people are checking out with White Claw.
Oh, it's fucking crazy.
Wild.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get fucking hammered.
It's not even just that.
And a lot of people are like, I don't like beer, but I don't like liquor.
That's what I mean. Like, when I asked you and you're like, oh, my wife has been drinking these fucking hard seltzers for years. I'm like, they've been out for years? I had no fucking idea. I don't even go to that section of the grocery store.
It's all about the maymays.
Dude, that's a Kyle reference. You don't know it is, but Kyle literally tried to tell me they were called memes. But he also told me that a URL was called an URL. So,
dude. I'm putting my dad on blast here. I was hanging out with my dad 2 Sundays ago, or no, on Labor Day. It was Labor Day. It was the day he came to my brother's, and we're hanging out up there. And my dad literally said in conversation, said Earl, and I'm like, you know what? You're like one of the earliest interface and UX designers that's ever existed. So it's okay. You can say Earl.
You got him. You gave him a pass.
Yeah. I'm gonna shift gears here.
Do it.
Because it's something I had to deal with tonight, literally before I left here.
What do you mean by deal with?
Yeah. This is I was sending pictures to Sierra. That was what I was looking for when we were setting up. So we have two tree frogs. Okay. Sticky Joe, aka Hopper.
You told that part before.
Yeah.
Because I remember Sticky Joe was like the OG name or something.
It's Sticky Joe was the name they gave him, and then 5 minutes later changed it to Hopper.
Yeah,
and I was like,
fine.
and I literally was like, no, I think Hopper's dumb. I'm calling him Sticky Joe.
Yeah.
And I never back down. And so then we got Ninja. Ninja was a little baby, like just past tadpole. No, I'm not exaggerating. 1 centimeter long. Okay. And
Ninja after the gamer ninja?
No, was because he was very agile.
Okay, got it.
He's very skilled in the agile process.
Scrum and Kanban.
He's a scrum master.
He's a scrum master.
Anyway,
got it.
Fucking corporate jokes.
That's not a corporate joke. It's a software development joke.
Yeah.
And anybody in this day and age who's software development will get that. So fuck it. Leave it. Leave that shit.
So,
in.
you know what? I'll say this right here, and this is a meet me in the DMs conversation, but fuck agile process.
You're fucking dumb.
Anyway,
get out of here.
Moving on. Agile process squashes creativity. Moving on. I pissed him off.
No!
I have pissed him off.
I'm just curious as to how that. Give me some kind of like basis for that argument.
You totally shifted gears by me.
Yeah,
saying
no,
some shit.
because I refuse to let this one go. I want to know what you mean by that. I feel like that's your agile process is broken, not ours.
Dushan's gonna love this shit too because he and I know because our boss feels the same way as I do.
need to hear it. I need to hear your argument for this.
Create it to you need time to be creative.
Yes.
Agile process does not have that. Time is not part of it.
Wrong.
And and I know that, like, I remember getting in your car and you had like a fucking binder.
Watch this. Wrong.
I got in your car and you had like a fucking binder that was like the agile process or some shit. And so I don't pretend to know as much about it as you do.
Let me explain how we do it. We do research, sometimes with third-party companies.
Wink.
We then take that research, work with our designers. Our designers create the perfect thing, target state. And then we as product owners take that target state and create MVP and lead it. We don't stifle the design process. We let them give us target state, and then we break that down and say what MVP and how we get to their target state. We do not stifle the design process. We just have to create MVP and decide what's a feature and what is MVP. Y'all are agiling wrong.
No, we don't agile. We only agile when our clients want to agile. I'm not about to get into
that's all I needed. I just needed a little piece to know where you were coming from.
Where I'm coming from when I say this to agile is when I got a client saying expecting something in 2 days that I think should take 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. See, we don't do that. We sometimes work months on a perfect design before we start the development process.
And I'll say one more thing, and I kind of hinted at this the other day. Let's come back to this in a second.
No,
I got to finish
fucking finish your. And then we'll
Sticky
get
Joe. Fuck Sticky Joe. Fuck Sticky Joe.
How about we come back to Sticky Joe in a second?
I do feel like a lot of times processes like that make. I'm choosing my words carefully because I'm
gonna attack you.
No. I'm ready for that. I don't care about that. I don't care about offending you. But because that's fine. That's literally why we do this.
Yeah.
And but I feel like it makes a lot of people feel like they're creative when they're not. That's my problem with the agile process is the whole empathy thing and the whole like let's all brainstorm, let's have these sessions. Like it
again
kind of makes me as a designer who has spent my whole life
taking too long to make designs.
That was good. Okay, that's good. That's a fair pushback. But as a designer who has spent my whole life honing my creative energy, it's like man, when back in the day when Photoshop brushes were a thing.
Dude, I had thousands.
No, I know you did. You were the kind of person that pissed me off so much because you had some brushes and you had a cracked version of Photoshop and I had been spending the last
never heard of it.
I had been spending the last fucking 10 years of my life honing my craft, and then a bunch of dickhead designers like Dave Tevenall put out these packs of brushes and vectors that people can buy. Fuck you, Dave, for doing that shit. And now everyone thinks they're a designer, and then perpetuate garbage design by people who think they're designers. No offense.
No, mad offense. Hella offense.
No, yeah, sorry, not sorry. Fuck you.
What's funny about that is I text you a few days ago. I got an ad.
That's why you got me fired up because I was pissed about that.
I text you. There was an ad. I can't remember what the company was from, but it was an ad that was like, become a UX designer in 6 months. And all I did was I screenshot it and I text you and I said, don't need you.
No, because this is not the first time.
Don't need you.
So, I'm like I said, like when I responded to your text about that, fucking so many corporate dickheads hide behind the term UX as if it makes them a creative person.
And we both shared that article about like bad UX, right?
Yeah.
Are bad designers hiding behind the term UX?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So I am passionate about this. I don't want to alienate our listeners by going on and on about stuff that nobody gives a shit about. I guess that's really what a podcast is. But going on and on about stuff that nobody gives a shit about. No, but I am very passionate about this because I went to design school on the streets, man.
The fucking school of hard knocks.
I dropped out of college, and I got a lot of friends with design degrees that I'm a much better designer than. I won't name any fucking names.
Real world shit.
But I've been doing this shit. I've been doing this shit for more than half my life. So when
you almost said half my entire life. It's a weird way to phrase it. Half my entire life.
Well, it sounds better.
It does. It sounds longer.
If I said literally half my entire life.
Yeah.
But
no bullshit, dog. Half my entire life. Fucking about to get in that rap bag.
What if like designers instead like like when rappers like talk about all their aka
oh my god.
But what if like designers like said it like by their title? So if I was like I'm Collin Simula director, aka senior director, aka art director, aka senior designer, aka designer, aka junior designer, just kept going
aka
back.
UX expertise.
Like every last title I ever had.
That reminds me, that's like some Wu-Tang shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you're going with that, huh?
That's exactly where I was going.
Yeah,
with
that's what I thought.
But you know, I don't know. I get fired up about this shit really easy because it's one of those things where it's like I want.
God damn!
That's a first. That's a first. I punched the mic with the can.
Rammed it.
But you know, I'm passionate about this stuff, and I don't talk about it that often because at the exact same time, who am I to stifle somebody from doing creative shit? You know, I have tons of clients who get down on that agile shit and get down on those like empathy brainstorms or whatever because like it takes them away from sitting in their goddamn cubicle.
Yeah.
And I get that. And that makes sense to me. So who am I to stifle that? All I'm saying is like, that's why they pay me the big bucks, dog.
So for the first time in over 13 years, I'm about to work at a different location. And I don't like this location.
Does it involve cubicles?
It does.
That blows.
I am out the cubicle life, and now I'm about to be back in it for an undetermined amount of time until they open up seating in our main building again. And I am fucking not happy about it.
I feel like I need to say something really quick.
Say it. Say that shit.
Anybody out there who wants to be creative, be creative. I'm being an elitist designer right now because like I said, I went to school on the streets. But I don't want to make anybody feel like being, you know, flexing your creative muscles is wrong. I don't know. Dude, I feel bad about it. I feel like I do rant about this shit because it does drive me nuts because
that's what we do here. We fucking rant about everything.
I just feel like it's so often my craft is it's misunderstood and it gets cheapened very easily. A couple of years ago, the biggest thing that we were afraid of as designers, and I feel like and this maybe it's still a thing because I was a web designer at the time. Mm-hmm. I used to lead a web design team at my old job. You know, the thing we were afraid of was automation, was sites like Squarespace.
Oh yeah,
that took the designer out of the equation. And then there was somebody who was developing another site similar to Squarespace, but it was like basically you inputted what you wanted your site to look like, and a robot fucking developed a website for you. You know,
shit.
And you know, so creative automation is something that real creatives like me are scared of.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just reacting out of fear, is what I'm saying.
So. While we're on the topic of like work and shit like that, I'm going to share a story from my coworker because I found this so fucking funny. So I come out yesterday and I see her windows are kind of cracked and stuff. And I was like, oh, weird. Like she left her windows down. And then today she says, man, my car was really funky. And like my husband put this bag of trash in the garage and my car smelled like trash and I could smell it all the way to work. And I went home and I was like, you got to throw that trash out. And so he throws the trash out and I left my car in the driveway all night to air out and I left the windows cracked. She was like, and I could still smell it on the way to work. So what happened? This is the best part. What happened was she went grocery shopping and a pack of hamburger meat fell out and slid under the seat. And so she's got rotting hamburger.
This is literally like that's worse than milk. That's the worst thing.
Rotting hamburger.
Oh
and
my
like,
God!
You know this because like when your wife was pregnant, did she like have just an acute sense of smell?
Yeah,
she's pregnant. So can you imagine how bad that smelled to her?
Oh my God!
So she's like blaming her husband, and she's like, "You gotta get that fucking trash out of the trash can, like out of the garage." I don't understand how a bag of trash that you set out there is making my car smell that bad, but it does. No, it was just rotting meat chilling.
You ever seen that episode of Seinfeld?
Nope.
Are you a Seinfeld fan?
Nope.
Oh man,
I've seen the Soup Nazi. Like I've seen that.
Shit.
But I haven't seen many episodes of Seinfeld. I did finish The Boys finally.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it. I heard it's good.
Fuck, it's good. You can look at me. I am not a comic book guy. I don't give a fuck about those comic book movies. I barely like any of them. People go nuts over them. Dave, Kyle, everybody, they go watch those things at fucking midnight. They geek out on them. Cool. Don't know why. Never got into them that way. you do not need to be a comic book person
Yeah,
to fucking
I
love
heard
this
that.
show. I was so
It's
addicted.
like super gory too.
It's yes, it's gory, it's funny, it's fucking awesome. Don't watch it with kids around. It is not made for kids. There's nudity and shit like that. So I kept having to like.
Wait, your kids don't watch stuff in the nudity?
Yeah, dude, my kid is. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody does, right? No, I got a funny story about that in a minute too. So I finally had a chance to watch it, and I can only watch it like he goes to bed, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I can watch this. But my wife takes over the TV too, so it was like this battle. Well, one day I had a chance. I watched like the last 3 or 4 episodes. I am very excited for season 2. It's the shit. So let me go back to nudity for a minute. So I didn't know what to expect. And it's like episode 1 or 2, there's like this weird scene where like some naked people are like floating around having sex. Cause it's some superhero shit, right?
Yeah.
So they're like floating around. I was like, Hayden, hide your eyes. And I turned it off and I realized at that point, like, okay, he can't watch this. Anyway, so we're talking about nudity, we're talking about porn when we go to that beer tasting. And keep in mind the fucking people we have there, right? We got Shawnee G, we got his girl, we got Dave, we got his friend. So we're all talking about this, and and one of them shares a story. They're like, "Oh my god, I caught my kid kind of like playing with his dick, and I told him, don't play with your dick. Everybody does that, but don't do it in public." He said he could see the light bulb go off. And the kid runs off and he goes, "Man, I'm going to go check on him." And he walks in. The kid's like rubbing his dick on the dresser, just grinding his genitals on the dresser, all over the place.
Young boys are so gross.
And it reminded me, so I looked over one day and my kid is just like hand in pants. And I said, "Hey, dude, don't play with your dick." And he's like, "It just feels weird." And I'm like, fuck, it started.
Weird is the code word for good.
Yeah, it started. I'm like, this kid's 10. He's about to start playing with his dick. So I fired up, I have the Google Wi-Fi system. I opened it up and was like, all right, let me see. Oh, cool. They have this thing called like Safe Search, which blocks like, thousands of explicit websites.
Does it show you the search terms he was searching?
Well, I can look at that if I look at the router. He's not looking for shit yet. I'm preparing ahead of time. So I fucking turned on the Safe Search. I'm like,
oh yeah,
he's going to have to be creative like I had to be. He's going to need to fucking get those Sunday ads.
That's what I'm saying. It's like porn is so easy now.
Yeah, he's going to have to be more creative.
No. Let's make it hard. You're going to do it. You're going to look for porn. You're a young boy. That's the way it works.
I'm going to leave like the brawl section of the JCPenney ad laying around and see if he gets down.
Man, you ever
I see your brain, your processing.
You ever get caught by your mom?
Nope. Not that I know of. If she caught me, she didn't tell me.
So this is a pretty good story. One time, I'm I don't know, senior in high school, 17 years old, fucking horny as fuck, and nerd. So I don't even have girls, so I'm extra horny. And we lived in this like townhouse, like a row house,
Right.
You walk in the front door and there's a staircase right in front of you.
Sure.
In the kitchen. And we had our computer like next to the staircase, and there's like a bathroom right behind it, like right there. And I'm like thinking to myself, oh yeah, the rest of my siblings are gone.
I'm about to smack this thing around for a minute.
Mom's at work. I got hour. I'm good. Time to tick, 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 tick,
time to light a candle and get busy.
Nowadays it's like time to turn on incognito mode in Google, in Chrome. But it's just like and then I'm like, you
spend longer looking for the right video.
Oh yeah,
Jesus Christ!
Like 30 minutes of searching and 30 seconds of whacking.
Found the right one.
But anyway, I'm spending time alone as a 17-year-old on the computer, as it were, and all of a sudden, like the door, the locks start unlocking, and I'm like, God damn it! And I my pants are on my ankles, and I freak out, and I just unplug the computer, like unplug the power strip, and start running up the stairs right there, like just around the corner, pulling my pants up.
You should have locked one of the locks back and like bought yourself some time. Like, fuck you, click, click, and bought yourself some time.
Fucking chain.
Yeah, put the chain on.
And I'm running up the stairs. I'm 2/3 of the way up the stairs, pulling my pants up. My mom goes, "What are you?" Because I'm scrambling. My mom comes in. She goes, "What is that noise? What are you doing?" Because
I was like, shit.
I literally said, "I gotta poop so bad." And she goes, "Why are you going upstairs?" And I was like, "I'd rather poop upstairs. I like that bathroom better." And she's like, "Why are your pants not on?" And I was like,
I'm preparing to shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude. I'm getting shit. I'm getting in shit ready mode.
The funny thing is, I don't think my mom listens to this, but if she does, now it's like, oh, well, guess what, Mom? I know you probably always knew what was happening, and now it's out loud.
I wonder if my mom knew. Because, like...
Of course she knew.
I mean, she's
probably. A mom.
That's
you know
true.
Everything.
Yeah, she definitely never called me out on it because, like...
Would you?
Yeah. Just on some joking shit. Like, I want to be like, nudge, nudge, like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Smacking that worm around, are you?
Yeah, not when you grew up in the church like me.
That's true. See,
that's bad.
Well, I mean, you know, we always talk about that. And, like, you, like, literally grew up in the church. I was like an altar boy and shit. Like, I was in the church, just not maybe as much as you.
I grew up where, like, guys would, like, in like men's groups be like, guys, I have to confess, I feel like I have a porn addiction.
I've had some thoughts.
Like I grew up in a world where like it was bad.
Yeah.
So
interesting. No, I mean, I definitely like, that's back when Cinemax was like Cinemax After Dark, you know what I'm saying? Or like HBO.
My stepdad had all the cable channels.
I couldn't wait for that show to start and tell me what the things it had in it, like SSL, strong sexual language,
anything that had
nudity,
anything that had strong sexual.
Yeah,
like, there it is.
I was like,
that's the porn.
This is the one I'm watching tonight. Let me see a titty. Yeah, dude. And I was always down there, and like every once in a while, my mom would come back down, but I was like, dude, I'd have that shit on super low, and you know, you had the cable remote that like. You fucking.
You and I have. It's funny. I'm thinking like, man, Jeff and I have had the same experience. But then it's like, no, every millennial dude has had this experience.
So what I used to do, this was my thing. Like I'd have it on Cinemax, and then I'd go to MTV, and then you had that last button.
Oh fuck yeah,
dude! And I hear her coming. I'd hit that last button, drop it.
Why are you still up? Just watching music videos.
Yeah. What? Like motherfucking spring break. The spring break thing is on, like whatever it is. Nah, so I hit that last button and then I would dart around the corner. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like my house was set up to where she's still coming downstairs and I had already made it to the other room and that was like enough time for me to pull my fucking pants up or whatever I was doing. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. I do feel at this point, like, I feel like everybody had the same experience, but nobody talked about them back then. It takes years to be able to talk about that shit. So Kyle was here earlier and I was like, because we had band practice, that's when my voice is fucked up. Kyle had a root canal, so I did all the backup vocals today, including ones that clearly I can't do while I was playing certain parts. Found that shit out tonight. So I'm doing backup vocals. We haven't practiced in a couple weeks. My voice is fucked up. I was trying to get him to stay, but there was a question that I started to allude to while he was here. I'm going to ask the question now because okay.
Oh, yeah. You're like, I'm not even going to ask it yet.
I said I'm not going to ask it because not only will Kyle know the fucking answer, he'll fuck it up to where I can't naturally ask you. And I'm just very curious if anyone knows this answer. I refused to Google this because I didn't want to know the answer. So at least once a day, I live like 2 miles from a cemetery. And at least once a day I drive by a cemetery. Mm-hmm. So today I'm driving by and I have this thought. I go, how do cemeteries make money? So what's your initial thought? They sell fucking plots, right?
They sell plots.
What the fuck happens when all the plots are sold, right? How the fuck do they make money to like maintain the grounds? It's not like you have a subscription to this place where it's like, I'm dead, and then it's $9.95 a month to keep me in this ground. So like you are getting into a business where you have a ceiling, and where you stop, you're done. You've sold all the spots. Now what? You just have to maintain that shit out of your own pocket for the rest of your life?
That's interesting.
Is that fucking crazy?
Yeah,
I'm not Googling it. I'm going to Google it after we leave here, but I just
Yeah.
feel like that's some bullshit that Kyle would know.
That's interesting because, yeah, you pay for the plot.
Yeah. And sometimes you pay for that shit years in advance. Like my grandma she paid to bury my grandpa and then bought the plot right next to him and died like 20 years later.
Is it a one-time expense? Or is it a
Dog, do not tell me that there's a subscription to be buried.
No. No, I'm not saying a subscription. I mean, kind of. But like, is there like a
maintenance fee?
A yearly fee?
I don't think so.
Because then like, what if your whole family dies?
Bingo. Like, I was sitting there thinking like, damn, you were getting into a business where you got a big chunk of land. You start burying people. And then once it's all sold up, what the fuck? You just have to you have to mow the lawn forever?
I was going to say, because then it's easy to think like, well, okay, maybe they just bought some cheap land and said, this is the cheapest land in the world and we paid it right off and now it's a cemetery. But you still got to pay the people to take care of it.
That's what I'm saying. Either you have to do the work or you got to pay somebody. And at any rate, that's either your time or your money that you're spending.
So I'm trying to think logically about this. Okay. Some cemeteries are on church properties, so those are paid for.
Yeah. The one by me is not. Let me just
are cemeteries subsidiaries of funeral homes?
I mean, I'm sure that no, I don't think so. I'm sure there's probably some deals they're wheeling and dealing. Like buy this casket, get a free plot.
Are cemeteries government property? Is it
I don't
taxpayer
know.
dollars?
I doubt it. Let me tell you, like, so the one by me actually got in trouble.
Thinking about this, man.
They got in trouble for like tax evasion. And like their fucking grass was like a foot tall and everybody was bitching. So volunteers got together and everybody brought their own mower. And like, you know, this guy mowed like this part and like the community chipped in and mowed this shit like with hand mowers. Hand mowers? Push mowers. That's what I meant. Fucking hand mowers. Yeah. Hand mowers. No, the community like got together and fucking mowed that shit down because while they were in trouble for tax evasion, like nobody was taking care of the property. But it still never dawned on me until I was driving by tonight and I saw some people out there and I was just like, holy shit, how do they make money? Like, where does the money come from? Maybe like once they're all sold, maybe there is some kind of like government funding or something that like goes to just keeping them dead people dead as fuck.
Fascinating.
Yeah. I'm
definitely gonna Google that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna Google that shit too.
Wow, that's weird. You got my brain hurting.
I wonder if there's other, and I tried to process it for a minute, but I was like, I wonder if there's other businesses that work like that. Like once something is all sold up, like sometimes people just move on, but like that's really the only one that came to mind as it's a dead end investment. It has a ceiling, you hit it, and then you're done. I feel like.
Weird.
Yeah. Now I got you thinking, and now we're fucked up, and we can't even pod.
Well, that's crazy, and I'm gonna Google it. And somebody listening to this right now is like, "These guys are fucking idiots," and has like a great logical answer.
It's probably some bullshit, some very easy bullshit, but it's something that I have no idea.
I do need to return to because I did say here's something I had to deal with tonight, and then never delivered on it. We have two frogs,
Sticky Joe and Ninja.
I said he was agile, and then we went crazy on that. Jesus,
you know why? Fuck. Because you badmouth agile.
Yeah, well,
don't do that.
I'll continue to do it. Anyway, Ninja was bees. Okay, so
okay.
Keyword is was. Got home tonight. We went out to dinner for my mother-in-law's birthday, and got home. Turned the light on in the frog tank. I changed out the water. all that. And then I was like,
Is this some shit where like you told them this was going to be their job? I'm not taking care of these frogs.
Nope.
No, you offered.
No, I made the habitat for these frogs, so I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. Anyway, I'm like, where's the little guy? Where's the little ninja? And I look, and he's literally. I gotta show you the picture right now because it's just too fucking good, man.
Well, can you show it to me and then immediately text it to me? Because we always say like, oh, we're gonna put the picture on the screen, and then I fucking edit the video and never put it on the screen.
Upside down.
Is he dead?
He dead.
Oh man,
he dead. And I'm gonna immediately text you.
Do it.
This picture of Ninja. Rest in peace.
DAF.
2019 to 2019.
Oh shit, he's not even a year.
Dude, this thing was literally a centimeter long. It was a baby, like just past tadpole size. Okay, and two things. One, I think it was my fault because I put crickets in there last week, and all they had left at Petco, both Petcos I went to, and another pet store I went to. Nobody had crickets except for large ones. And I looked at them and like, oh, they're not that big. And I put them in there and they're like twice as big as this fucking frog.
Oh, no shit.
So then the bigger frog, Sticky Joe, he's going to town. He's eating crickets left and right. This little guy's looking at him going, nope.
So you think he starved him?
Nope. I'm pretty sure I did. And
what the fuck? What? Okay, so I had some frogs growing up too, and I fed it crickets as well. What else do frogs eat? I mean, flies?
Really any bugs.
So why don't you just get some different bugs?
Because we were out of town and it's been a busy week. Come on, man. Cut me some slack. It's not like a dog. It's not like that's going to follow me around when I don't feed it. And, you know, because dogs do that. Like, hey.
No shit.
Hey, fucker.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, he's fucking belly up, literally. And I was like, shit. And we've had fish and stuff die before.
Yeah.
But who gives a shit about fish? And, but.
Vegans. I mean, just a straight up answer. That's all. I just got an answer.
Man, I want to talk some vegan shit so bad right now, but my friend Lee West is a vegan.
Is he? Oh yeah, vegan Lee.
I have some very passionate vegan friends, so I'm not gonna even meet me in the DMs if you want to argue about some fucking veganism. And I have nothing to argue about.
Nah.
I just like burgers.
You know, I think most people would what keeps people from going vegan is cheese. Vegan cheese is fucking gross.
Cheese is terrible. They've got the meat down.
Oh my god.
Cheese, yeah. I'll go vegan as soon as I get that right. Mark my words.
Impossible burgers and cheese all day.
Anyway, literally before I left here, the 15 minutes before I left to come here, Beatrice was sobbing.
No shit.
She's going, I miss my frog.
I bet she did. She even
like
look at that
you
frog?
Looked at every 3 days.
Exactly. I was gonna say, did she even look at that frog for the past week?
You don't give a fuck about that frog. Anyway, it was just like she was sobbing, and I had to like talk her through, like, hey, this happens.
I'm surprised you didn't just sneak out and buy a different frog.
This was irreplaceable because I've never seen a frog that stayed this little.
Yeah, but you guys came back from a vacation. You could be like, damn, Ninja was feasting on crickets. Look how big Ninja grew.
Or I could have came back from vacation and been like, well, you know, we paid Tish to take care of the dogs and the cats, not the frogs. I could have blamed it on Tish. No. So I had to deal with that, and that sucks. It sucks. I felt like, as a dad, legitimately fucked up on the way here. Like, I didn't have to like talk her through death, right? She understands what death is and stuff like that. I didn't have to do any of that. But like, no, like this was like hers. Like it was like her. She brought the frog home.
Yeah.
You know, like.
So where did you get the tadpoles?
We didn't.
Okay.
She fucking found that frog. It's an Ohio native tree frog that I was keeping in captivity in a bowl of glass in my living room.
Okay. You know, that's so I said I had frogs growing up. That's where I got them. I went down to Chillicothe to visit some family. I don't know if it was like
I don't feel so bad now.
I don't know if it was like a holiday. I think because we used to go down there for Thanksgiving. And my aunt lived in Chillicothe, and she had a big old pole barn, and like all my family would gather down there and have Thanksgiving. Well, One time I go down there and there's this little blue, like the kids swimming pool, like the classic plastic, like kids swimming pool. And there's water in it and there's a bunch of tadpoles. And I was like, oh shit. And they had some like, I feel like they had some legs or something. And so they're like, you can take some home. So I took a few home and, you know, we start off with the water and shit. And then like, as they get all their parts or whatever, you transfer over to like pretty much dry, with a little bit of water in there. So we set up a whole thing. It's like rocks on this side, grass and dirt on this side, a little fucking thing in the middle that was like water. Well, these motherfuckers had like, they could like suction cup to the glass. Like, so they would always like just suction cup to the glass. And I remember being a kid and just singing a song, suction cup froggies, like all the fucking time. I would just sing that song. Well, they would suction cup themselves up in the top, like black area of the lid. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't see them. I take the lid off one day and I set it down. These motherfuckers hop out. They're gone. So they're all over our house. I'm struggling to find them. Finally get them back into the thing. Eventually they died. I mean, I don't fucking know if I wasn't taking care of them, but I did the same thing. I went and bought crickets. I caught crickets outside. Sometimes I even had this little net. I would catch house flies and throw them in there.
Yeah, I literally like a week ago, there was a small katydid in my living room, and I threw it in the thing. And
A small what?
a katydid.
What the fuck is that?
They look kind of like really delicate grasshoppers, like really lime green. They look like their wings look like leaves almost.
Oh, leafy bugs. You talking about leafy bugs?
That was some Southside shit right
Nice,
there.
some Southside shit. You ever seen the movie I Spy?
No.
So
Oh,
okay.
leafy bugs.
Yeah,
You're like a
leafy
Katie
bug.
what?
Yeah, I've never heard it called that. I'm like, you know, the bug that looks like a leaf. Like, that's how everyone describes those, except you. I have never heard it called that.
That's because I'm a learned individual.
Man, fuck that shit. Anyway, so one day I'm trying to download a movie, right? LimeWire, Napster.
You're trying to what a movie?
download a movie.
Calling the cops.
LimeWire, Napster, whatever the fuck was popping at the time. New movie. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm getting this. I download this movie, and then I look at the file name, and I'm like, somebody changed the file name to be some new file name, like whatever new movie was out. But when I turn the movie on to watch it, it's I Spy. And I'm like, what the fuck is I Spy?
Is that an Angelina Jolie movie?
No.
Oh.
So I'm like, what the fuck is I Spy? And then on the fucking thing comes Owen Wilson and
You're like, no.
and Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
Owen Wilson and Eddie Murphy. It turns out it's a fucking comedy about Owen Wilson's a spy.
Like a buddy comedy?
Yeah,
Wow.
kinda. Owen Wilson is a spy. He's trying to go be a spy and infiltrate and find out who stole this fucking plane. Eddie Murphy is a boxer with like a perfect 50-0 record. And he has to partner with Eddie Murphy because the guy he's trying to spy on is a huge boxing fan. So he's like, I need your civilian assistance. Takes him on this thing. Anyway, they go to try and find this airplane that can turn invisible. And Eddie Murphy goes, oh, you mean like a leafy bug? Like a bug that looked like a leaf. And ever since then,
There it is.
Ever since then, that fucking thing has been called a leafy bug.
Hilarious.
That's it.
Hilarious. No, you know, I feel weird about having like captive frogs that like literally like 10 feet from their cage could be like outside enjoying their Ohio life. But at the same time, like they're experiencing an Ohio climate. And I feed them.
Yeah.
Obviously not enough.
There is oh shit. There are several frogs outside of my house. I don't know if they're frogs or toads. Like what is the differentiating factor between a frog and a toad?
You know, I don't really know.
You got a theory?
Toad. You don't find toads and you find toads on the ground for sure. Like frogs, you find in ponds, and in trees.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
So then this thing outside of my house is probably a toad.
I'm pretty sure that toads are like fucking the ones you find in like the dirt. But
well, there's
somebody smarter than me, aka Kyle.
Yeah, we need Kyle.
Is gonna be like, you're an idiot. This is the scientific reason toads are different than frogs.
He'll probably know the scientific name for the
Like, dude,
native toads.
Like I
Toadius maximus.
Maybe toads don't do like the thing, where their fucking chin gets all their neck gets all fucking big.
They get the bubble neck. Bubble
we
necking.
got Sticky Joe, man. That dude when he's feeling randy, he'll all of a sudden be like like, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's fucking wild.
But also, I gotta say, fucking Ninja laying there belly up next to the pond in the habitat I made.
Mm-hmm.
Sticky Joe sitting up on the vine looking smug as fuck.
Like he maybe murked him while you were out?
Like he's just sitting there like, put some respect on my name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe he fucked him up. Like you went away and he like clubbed him or something.
I'm also thinking maybe it's one of those bigger crickets. I was like, what are you going to do, bitch?
Oh, cricket fucked him up? Dude, you're hitting the mic with the beer every I don't know. Let's see, what are we at? We're at an hour 15. You've hit it twice.
Ooh.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Did I tell you that my dog almost died again? The dog that constantly almost dies?
Wait, is that why she's in a fucking cone?
Yeah.
I thought she just got fixed.
No, okay. So yes. The answer is yes. So we get her fixed on a Wednesday. And most people get their dog fixed really early, but because she had that heart surgery, we had to wait, give it time. They said, as long as you fix her before her first heat, right? So I always want to say we put the dog in the shop. So we put
I call the mechanic.
Yeah, we put the dog in the shop, right? Got her oil changed. No, so we put her in the vet on a Wednesday, got her fixed. We already know that we're wildly irresponsible. And I was like, dude, leave that dog in the fucking vet for a few days. Let's give her a fighting chance, right? It's a major surgery. It's like a hysterectomy basically, but for dogs.
It's literally what it is.
Yeah. So we put her in the vet. She gets the surgery on a Wednesday. We board her until Saturday. It's Labor Day weekend, so they are not there on Monday, and they're closing on Saturday, right? So you can't have your dog boarded past Saturday.
Okay.
Tight. Go pick the dog up. She's spunky as fuck. Put her in the car. I kind of look at her wound. I'm like, shit look a little crusty. It look a little black and crusty. I don't know. That's just blood. That's crusty blood. I'm good. Take her home. Get her home. I get the big dog's crate out. We haven't used a crate since we moved to the new house. We haven't used a crate for June for anything. She's just we just stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the big crate out because she had the fucking cone on her head. And I'm like, she doesn't fit in her crate. You're supposed to crate a dog with just enough room to basically live so they don't piss and shit in there.
They need to be able to stand up and turn around.
Exactly. And she could do that, but not with this cone. She's straight up a lamp right now. So I get the big crate out. I put her in it. I see a wet spot when I come back, I don't know, half hour, hour later. I'm like, damn, there's a wet spot. Damn, she pissed in her crate already? That's weird. Must be the drugs because she was still fucked up from whatever they gave her, right? Because they were keeping her sedated to keep her, because she's a high energy dog. Take her outside, whole nine. I let her go over, get some drinks. I look and I'm like, oh shit, those are drops of blood on the ground. Pick her up and look, and her wound looks a little wet and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I see the black, I see the crusty blood, but I see some wet, shininess. I can't tell it's blood because it's on black. Anyway, she goes over to the couch, and then I see a puddle of blood. So at this point, we're like, oh shit, my dog is dying. We call the emergency number, and we're like, hey, I think my dog is dying. There's blood coming out of her wound. She got fixed on Wednesday, yada, yada. She said, look for anything that looked distended. Does anything look like it's bulging out from the wound? We're like, no. Cool. Put her back in, wipe it, keep an eye on her. If she keeps bleeding, or if she looks like the wound is opening up or anything is coming through it, call back. So a little while later, we take a look at her, and quite literally something is starting to peek out of the wound. And I'm like,
what?
Yeah. I'm like, that's her guts. That's her fucking guts. So we call the emergency line back, and they're like, you'll have to meet me in Gehenna. So okay. I had two options: drive 10 minutes up the road to MedVet, or
a half hour, 45
minutes to Gehenna, because she was the on-call doctor. She only works out of her office. Her office is in Gahanna. Even though I am literally 6 minutes from the vet, same vet, she doesn't have keys to that building. So we're like, I was already determined. I'm like, fuck that. They fucked something up. I'm getting my money back, not going to MedVet. My wife takes her all the way out to Gahanna. It's 40 to 45 minutes away. They basically, by the time she gets there, her guts are hanging out of the wound by 1 inch to 2 inches. Just hanging down. Like, that's gross as fuck,
Like, it
right?
just, like, went...
It didn't open up. The fucking sutures never broke. So what they did was, I don't think they used either the right size suture or enough of them.
Ugh.
And it was just, something was peeking through the sutures. So they cut the sutures. They gave her more sutures, a bigger suture, and used some kind of glue on the wound to keep it shut. And then we bring her home Saturday. You know, I bitched to the lady. I'm like, look, I don't think we should have to pay for this shit. I feel frustrated because y'all sent me home with a broken dog. Like, she said, I understand, but I can't do anything. So we said, fuck it. It was actually like over 2 times more money than getting the operation done and boarding her for 3 days cost less than 50% of what it cost to take her on that Saturday run. It was like $720 or some shit. So they do it. We bring her home. We kennel her 100% of the time. We're real cautious. They send her home with some shit called like trazodone. It's like a sedative. We're giving her that. She had to have antibiotics because her fucking guts were hanging outside. So then it's like worry about infection. So she's on all this medication and she's still in the cone. Shout out to them though, because they acknowledge, they're like, yeah, something happened. We probably should have did this differently or this or that. Gave us 100% of the money back for that emergency run. And she's doing great now. But still, like so what they did was they opened her up and cut a bunch more of something off. Like the shit that was hanging out, they just snipped it off. They're like, she don't need it. I don't know what the fuck it was. I don't know if it was like uteral wall or like what. But my dog about died again. Like, this dog is a fucking money pit. I got
Crazy.
a lemon.
You got a lemon.
I got a fucking lemon. I need the warranty on this dog.
At least
though.
it's cute.
It's cute as fuck. But she's annoying. I don't want her. Like, I have never wanted this dog. Let's just be like, let's put that out there. My wife was like, we need a second dog. And I'm like, the fucking last thing we need is a second dog. And then, like, you know how it is. Like,
She's not going to like this when she listens.
oh, she already knows. I remind her like all the time. Anytime something bad happens, I'm like, remember when I didn't want a dog? I didn't want a second dog. We don't need 2 kids and 2 dogs. Anyway, it is what it is.
That sucks.
So, hold on. Something we haven't done in a few episodes was play Ohio or Florida.
Okay, let's do it.
So I got a couple queued up. And what I did is I intentionally, these are stories that are from a few weeks ago. And I did that because I didn't want you to like see the story, you know, like on some new shit and be like, oh, I remember that. It's fucking Florida or anything like that. Right. So I'm going to read, I got 3 headlines for you and you tell me if it's Ohio or Florida. First one is, man fires 2 shots at cars because he didn't like white people in his hood.
Ohio.
Dude, nailed it. Totally Ohio.
Definitely Ohio.
Next one.
Florida people aren't that racist. That's racist. That's Ohio
yeah, but
racist.
it was flip-de-flip. It was white people in his hood. Anyway, man arrested after allegedly shoving steaks worth more than $50 down his pants. The 61-year-old told investigators he figured if he got caught, he'd just be removed from the store, not arrested.
It's Florida.
Totally Florida.
I'm good at this.
You historically have not been good at this. let's put that out there. Man attacks jogger with a sword over a wheelbarrow that was left in the trash.
Florida.
You got it. You're fucking 3 for 3 today, Collin. We're all out of headlines for the week. I haven't.
That was it?
That was it. It was only 3. I only had 3 today, and you went 3 for 3.
I feel like if it's like weird, like if it's like a little bit too weird, it's generally Florida.
You know what's crazy about that last one is the whole thing was caught on a home surveillance. So what happened was like this guy goes by and like somebody, I don't know if they were moving out or what, but they put a bunch of shit out on the curb. And it was like, there was like some good shit in it. As in every fucking state, people go, ooh, good shit left on the curb. I'm going to get that. Well, one guy sees it and decides it's his, right? He runs by. He doesn't pick it up right then. He goes, I'm going to come back for that. But in his mind, it was already his. Guy goes out to get it because he's like, oh shit, look at this shit out on here. This wheelbarrow, I'm going to take this. Starts trying to take it. And then the original jogger dude rolls up. And what I don't know is if he got the sword from the pile or if he literally came up with a sword. But you can see this dude on the home surveillance swinging this fucking sword at this guy. And the one guy's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's a guy swinging a sword at me. That's just crazy shit. Wild ass crazy shit. You know what else is crazy? Is my wife is a marathoner and she runs on trails quite frequently alone, right? Never really been concerned with that. Because typically it's just like she runs at night or anything like that. She runs just, in the day.
Yeah.
Lots of people running.
Yeah.
I feel like there is an increasing number of people getting attacked on trails.
Ooh.
I mean, there has been people like set on fire. There have been people attacked and wound up dead in the river. Most recently, the craziest shit is on the trail that she runs on frequently. A woman who was like, I don't know, walking or jogging with her stroller, right? So a kid in the stroller, a 16-year-old raped her.
Yikes.
On the fucking Olentangy Trail.
Yikes.
Isn't that crazy? I feel like shit is just wild out here today. In this day and age. Shit is wild.
Shit is wild.
Well, I don't know that I have
a trivial thing.
I had a really good one last week. Oh yeah, I got one. Go on. You do yours first.
Because I experienced it on the way here.
Trivial things that bother us.
And this might be a old guy, fuck this new technology. But I hate these newer cars that turn off when you're at a light.
Oh, so hybrids?
Yes. Well, no, it's not just hybrids. A lot of new cars just do it now.
You mean that have like combustion engines?
That have combustion engines.
No.
Yes.
Like what? Give me an example of one.
I had a Buick Regal that I rented when I was in Detroit 6 months ago.
Are you sure it wasn't a hybrid? Dog, this is a hybrid. Sure. This is a hybrid thing. Anyway, this is like their claim to fame.
I think it's fucking stupid. Okay, that does make sense because so now I feel like an asshole. But I am pretty sure that I have experienced this in a non-hybrid car. But I am currently driving a hybrid because my Jeep is fucked up, and so I'm borrowing my mother-in-law's.
Is it a Prius?
Honda Insight.
Okay,
and it's fucking stupid. Because of two reasons. One, okay, I get it. You're not pumping more carcinogens into the environment.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Jeez.
I'm cool with that.
I love that.
I'm cool with that.
Your argument is like, you know what? Fuck the world, but like, fuck it. I'm cool with it.
I'm cool with that.
Fuck
like,
this ecosystem.
I'm cool with that. But I also feel like, isn't it using... Okay, you're not... Okay, I agree that you're not pumping cancer into the environment. And you're not burning the ozone layer. But isn't it just exerting just as much energy on the starter?
No, because it takes off with the electric portion. So what it does is it completely shuts down. It doesn't burn energy while you're sitting at the light for what, 60 seconds to 120 seconds?
But then you go again and you literally hear the starter go, like you hear it turn on. Like it's using extra energy to get it moving again.
I don't know.
Wouldn't you use less energy just sitting there idling?
I think that is a question they probably asked themselves. And the answer is no, because they chose to go this route. Do you really think that these motherfuckers were like, we can pretty much trick the world if we just shut this bitch off and turn it back on?
Second reason I hate it is it feels wrong. Is what it comes down to. Especially as somebody who drives a manual transmission, who is no, stranger to stalling. It feels like, wait, what happened? Like I pull up to a light and I go, is the car okay?
That I agree.
It gets quiet. It gets too quiet and you stop feeling vibration because it stops.
So one time I rode
and it
back.
feels like it's fucked up.
I rode back from Cleveland, which from Cleveland to here is like 2.5 hours. I rode back from Cleveland with somebody who was driving a Prius. And every time we pulled up to the light, it just went dead fucking silent.
That's what I'm saying, man.
And this was years ago. This was like, oh man, if I had to guess, this was at least 10 years ago. And it was super weird because it would just go completely silent and then we'd take off. So I agree, it's weird, but I mean, everything new is weird for a period of time and then it becomes normal.
Yeah, but I mean, this car that I'm driving is like 2007. It's not new. It's like over 10 years old.
That's why I think it's a hybrid.
It is a hybrid. I'll tell you, no, this one is a hybrid. I do feel like I've driven a non-hybrid that does that shit.
Let me go on record and say, not a fucking chance.
Okay.
Not a fucking chance.
You're probably right.
I gotta be honest. I can't imagine a car like combustion engine has like a starter. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta start that bitch up. I cannot imagine you pull them to a light, stopping, and then you hit the gas, and that motherfucker goes, and then goes into gear and takes off. That shit ain't happening. That whole process is not quick enough to be like, I'm going to turn this bitch off at a light. Like, it's just not quick enough.
Okay, let me say then, I guess what it comes down to is pick one or the other.
Yeah. I'm cool with that.
Because at least like a Tesla is always going to feel like it's off.
But a lot of people complain about Teslas feel really weird to drive too. Because one thing that I always hear is when you're driving and then you just let off the gas, they just immediately start slowing down.
Oh yeah, it's that.
It's like that auto brake type shit.
Yeah, it's a capacitive. There's a name for it. Kyle probably knows.
Motherfucker.
You know who I guarantee Duchamp knows because he's a automotive researcher. But no, the Nissan Leaf has that too.
There's not a worse name for a fucking electric or hybrid car than Leaf.
Yeah,
that's the fucking worst.
Like Prius was already bad. Like
I don't even mind Prius.
You hear the word Prius and you get douche chills. Like it's like ugh, fucking liberals. Then you get Nissan Leaf and it's like you go past
that's the worst.
You go past liberal into tree hugger.
Yeah, that's the worst. Nissan Leaf.
Fuck tree huggers.
What do you think, man? You ready to wrap this bitch up?
I'm tired, man. I got to be at work at fucking 7:45 tomorrow. So.
I do not. Employee Appreciation Week is coming up though, which is really tight. Do you guys do that shit?
I don't think so.
What the fuck?
I don't work for a corporation, dude.
It doesn't matter.
Corporations care about that stuff.
And y'all just don't give a fuck about your employees?
It's different.
It's nice to feel cared about.
Dude, I got 2 beer taps in the kitchen at my office. Every day is employee appreciation.
I've had beer at your office. Super tight. All right, episode 22.
Episode 22
is in the fucking books. Heckin' cool dads. Peace.